Hi guys, welcome back to Guru Beauty. I'm Jodie, doing a get ready with me today that involves quite a bit of colour, as you can see. I think this is perfect for summertime to introduce a bit of colour just to keep things nice and fresh and bright. Today I am using the Balm Voyage palette from theBalm. It is available at David Jones stores here in Australia for $49.95, and I will include links to some online sources that you can also buy it from. The Balm Voyage palette contains 16 different shades. You can see that there's obviously possibilities of doing really neutral looks here, as well as some nice warmer looks using this lovely rose and pink shade. And then we've got some colours across the middle. The palette does contain some lip and cheek stains as well, as you can see down there. And these are the shades that we're working with today. Mainly, these are the eyeshadow shades that I'm mainly working with from the Balm Voyage palette. And then I'm also using a Pearlescent Plum Savvy by DB Luxury eyeliner. I don't think you can get this one from Priceline anymore. They've changed over to some other nice eyeliners though. I'm using a powder blush from NYX, which, as you know, is new to Target Australia stores over here. This is the powder blush in Peach, which I love. It just goes with absolutely everything. And then I'm also using a NYX lipstick. This is one of their matte lipsticks, and the shade is actually called Nude, even though it's quite a vibrant peach. And I have tempered that down with one of my favorite lip liners of all time. This one is from Chic. It's their long wear waterproof lip liners in Centrefold. So if you want to see how I used those products and more to get this look today, keep on watching.
Starting off with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Sin, applying that to both eyelids and blending in with my finger. First shade here, C1 from the Balm's Balm Voyage palette, using a really loose fluffy brush. You can see it's just got a beautiful luster and shine to it. Nice start to the lid. Going in with a medium matte brown, C3, and a loose fluffy blending brush, just back and forth to the entire crease and above the crease area, just blending a lot back and forth, just creating that dimension and shape, creating a little bit of a wing to help lift the eye in the outer corner. Just keep on blending back and forth, and then bringing that also underneath the lower lash line. Going into the first bright colour, B2 is the light aqua colour. I'm using a pencil brush just to get precision and concentrated colour. I do still have to build this colour, you can see, even over the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Just applying that basically to the inner half of the lid and the inner corner. C2 is that darker teal shade, and I'm using the pencil brush now to apply that to the outer half. I'm just leaving the very outer corner blank. You'll see why in a moment, but you can see I'm just sort of using a stamping motion to blend that in. Now going into A2, the purple shade, using a pencil brush here to apply that to the very outer corner. So you can see eventually we'll end up with a sort of graduation of light to dark from the inner to the outer lid. I'm using that to just continue stamping that colour, build that up. These colours do take a bit of building up to the outer corner. And then I'm using a relatively clean brush here to blend out the inner corner. B3 is like a matte grey shade, and I'm just using that to further darken the crease with that same loose fluffy brush that I used with the medium brown. B4 is just a slightly darker brown. Again, I'm just wanting to deepen that up a little bit more in the outer V. I'm using less product this time, so just trying to get a little bit more precision and get the shadow exactly where I want it. Now going back in with the A2, the purple shade, I'm just trying to build up that colour on that outer quarter, on that outer corner of my lid, just to try and make that purple show. Building up the C2, that teal shade, to the sort of centre portion of my lid, I guess you could say. Stamping over it, you can see I've blended away some of the colour, but I'm able to get some of that colour back by going back in. And the same with that light aqua shade now. I'm building that up to the inner corner with that same pencil brush. And it's starting to look a lot better with a little bit more attention being given to building up that colour in the inner corner too. Going back in now with the black shade from the palette with a loose fluffy brush. I just wanted to get slightly darker in the outer corner. And now to the highlight stage, that original highlight shade that I used, going in with a 217 light brush to the brow bone and the inner corner. Using a Savvy by DB Luxury liner in Pearlescent Plum on the lower lash line. Blending that out with a clean pencil brush, and then I want a bit more purple, so I'm going back into that palette using the purple A2 shadow from the Balm Voyage palette just to really blend out that pencil, and it starts to look a lot better. Using a Fearless angled liner brush to apply the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner in black to the very lash line from the very outer corner right to the very inner corner. I'm also tight lining with that brush. It's a really nice brush to do that with. Short small strokes just to get precision and exactly where you want it. And then creating a bit of a wing. Going in with two mascaras today, starting with the Rimmel Scandaleye's Retro Glam Mascara and then following up with a nice defining brush from the Maybelline Mega Plush. My favourite brow product of the moment is the Makeup Forever Aqua Brow Corrector. This is in the number 15 shade, love it. And finally highlighting a little bit more in the inner corner with the C1 highlight shade. Time to apply some false lashes. You won't see that, but these are the MAC number 33s. And then highlighting underneath the under eye area using the Maybelline SuperStay 24-hour concealer in the shade Cream under my eyes, and then using the Loreal Lumi Magique Touch of Light highlighting pen in number 3 dark to further highlight down the nose, the brow bone area, and then you'll see me lightening up the corners of my nose, Cupid's bow, and then I decide I'm done. Finishing that all off with a Bourjois Healthy Balance pressed powder in the shade number 53 with a kabuki, and then using a loose fluffy brush to my under eye area to set that concealer. Using one of my favourite drugstore bronzers. This is a nice matte, very strong bronzer from Revlon. You've got 4 shades to choose from. And I'm contouring with that bronzer. Really strong effect, you'll see. This is a very bronzed look. It's a perfect bronzer for a really bronzed look. If you've got a similar skin tone, you can see I've contoured the cheekbones, also the temple area, and then using what's left on the brow to do down each side of the nose. Using a pressed powder blush from NYX, available in Target Australia now, as I'm sure you know. One of my favourite shades here is Peach, using an angled blush brush to apply that to my cheeks. And then this is a limited edition powder blush from Bourjois, Lune d'Or, a shimmery shade to above the cheekbone as a highlighter. Going in with a NYX matte lipstick in Nude. This is a lovely shade. It's a little bit too much for me, I feel. So I'm just applying a second layer here after blotting. And you can just see it's just too much. So I'm going to temper that down after blotting again with my favourite lip liner, pretty much my favourite, one of my favourite lip liners of all time, the Chic Stay On Lip Liner from Centrefold. It's retractable, it's a beautiful colour, I love it. I have one everywhere, in my purse, in my makeup bag, in my bathroom. Creating a bit of a shadow there on the lower lip, one of my favourite tricks to create fullness, and just blending that out with my finger. Going back in with the lipstick just to get a true to shade there so you can see the shade.
This is the finished look. I hope that you enjoyed it. I think this is perfect for summertime parties, nighttime, that kind of thing, with these nice bright colourful colours from the Balm's Balm Voyage palette. Let me know what your favourite colourful palette is. I would love to hear from you, and if you are interested in picking up the Balm Voyage palette, it is available at David Jones, and I will include links for online sources as well down below in the description bar. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye!